Story time! I'm your host Youssef, and these are 10 scary ocean stories you won't believe are real. Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Anyways, here we go. Number 10. Oops, wrong button. Was doing a deep dive certification with an instructor in Dahab, Egypt. We went down to 40 meters and I did a math test to check if I was thinking straight or narked on nitrogen. I aced that test. Performed it faster and better than on the surface in the comfort of an air-conditioned classroom. My instructor was happy and we carried on with a slow ascend. Little did I know I was completely narked and confused the button that blows the BCD up with the one that dumps the air. Basically, I was sinking vertically without even understanding my mistake. That's when the instructor came to my rescue and everything ended up well. Best part of the whole experience, it was all on film, and the people in the dive center saw it and kind of congratulated me on being alive. When I saw the video, I was amazed at how happily stupid I looked, smiling and kicking my fins, thinking I am going up while actually descending deeper. That was a good lesson for me not to underestimate the nitrogen narcosis and the effects it has on the mind. Number 9. EEL Scare. Not creepy, but a basic, straightforward scare. Was descending for a wreck dive in Roatan, Honduras, when a really large moray eel emerged from the wreck and made a beeline to me and my husband. We were startled and swam away. It followed us, then dropped back. Next, we watched it approach our dive master, who was facing the other way and distracted helping another diver. We were desperately trying to get his attention about the imminent attack. Then we saw it wind itself through his legs and twirl around him for a few pats, and discovered it's a friendly eel. We learned later that other people had been feeding it and it was habituated to humans. That's info I would have appreciated up front so we wouldn't have been so scared. LOL. Number 8. Manta Ray Stalker. Pretty much anything that moves under the water is creepy if my head is above water. Under the water, it's the opposite. Nothing bugs me. I've gone diving with sharks many times. They don't make me nervous at all. Jellyfish do though, especially in Southeast Asia. The one time I was really spooked was skin diving in the Galapagos. I went down quite deep for me, maybe 6 or 7 meters. I see an absolutely massive manta ray laying on the sea floor, bigger than me by maybe 40 kilos, maybe more. Continued on my way, looking at the colorful fish. When it came to ascend, I turned towards the manta again. It had been tracking my movement and moving towards me. When I looked at it, it stopped. I felt like it was up to no good. Number 7. Caught in the middle. I went surfing at Malibu Pier one night. As I was suiting up, a bunch of guys hanging around a U-Haul truck kept eyeing on us. A little creepy, but whatever, I paddled out. Not 10 minutes later, I heard a motorboat out of nowhere going fast with no nav lights. Crashed right onto the beach, only to be met with a bunch of dudes with flashlights. I was worried, but seemed like it was being taken care of. Got out of the water a little later, and the boat was abandoned, and the U-Haul disappeared. Turned out it was a cartel run from Mexico. Number 6. We're not alone. I was scuba diving at a shipwreck. Awesome experience. Very dark though, which had me on edge. Not a very well preserved wreck, but it was awesome to see everything down there. There was a huge expanse of open water to the side of the wreck that kind of began to slope off, and as we left the wreck, we saw a huge tiger shark floating in that open water. My friends and I just swam back to our ship slowly and it didn't really follow. But if you know anything about tiger sharks, you know how aggressive they can be and how menacing one would look in dark water. Seeing something like that in that environment with that level of darkness, it was the night, it was terrifying. The fact that it could hurt you if it wanted to and you can't do anything about it makes it 10 times worse. All you can really do is keep calm and keep your distance. Number 5. Surfing Scare. I was surfing Scripps Pier in San Diego about 6 years ago. It was flat, onshore wind, really messy conditions, but I spent 40 minutes diving there and said, I'll just get in the water and paddle around a bit. There was nobody in the water. I decided to paddle around the pier, going from the north side to the south side. When I reached the last pylon, a huge fin popped up, about 5 feet in front of me. I knew instantly it was a massive white shark. 12 to 15 feet based on the size of the fin. I've been surfing my whole life. I've been in the water with dolphins many times. This was 100% not a dolphin. This fin was more triangular with a serrated backside, almost like a steak knife, with sandpaper looking texture. Dolphins have more scoop in their fin and a very smooth texture on their skin. It was absolutely checking me out, but didn't show any interest towards me. Since then, I'm not that afraid of sharks, but I still get the chills thinking about that day. That's not supposed to be there. From roundabout 6, 2 of my coworkers were diving in a wreck off Rhode Island. The experienced diver went one way, the novice another. The new guy spotted a fishing net snagged on the wreck in murky waters. He also found a fisherman in the net who had been missing for months. He rushed back to the experienced guy and explained his find using facial expressions and hand signals. Finally, they tied a line to the body before returning to their dive boat to contact and wait for the Coast Guard. Fish fight. From Tampa Burn, my dad took me spearfishing, family tradition for me. I was about 75 feet down when I shot the biggest amberjack of my life. I was stupid and wrapped the line from my spear around my wrist so I could pull the fish to me on the bottom. The thing was bigger than me and started flying up to the surface, so I'm going up and down, then up and down, and finally, he swam back down towards the wreck and I managed to snag my gun on a beam from the rusting hull. I took a second to breathe and realized how close to blacking out I was. My head was pounding, my ears felt like they were going to explode and implode at the same time from all the pressure changes. My mask was filling with blood since I burst a blood vessel in my nose in the fight. I should have lost. The moment I touched him, the fish went ballistic. It was like our fight was starting all over, this time in close quarters. I just wrapped my legs around him like a rodeo star and tried to find a sweet spot for my knife. I had my knees locked around the spear with the fish like a kebab in the middle. I took one jab and it deflected off his skull. Those guys have a tough head. Snaky Waters. From Apricot Princess. Coming up from a dive in Indonesia, didn't realize a sea snake was coming up for air at the same time until I surfaced. Everyone on the boat just started yelling, "Snake!" I kept my distance and it went back down, but it freaked me out how close it was. If they hadn't warned me, I might have run into it. Did a second dive and saw the bugger again. He kept following me for a bit and that freaked me out. Speedboat Scare. From Esme Alexander, Carl is a commercial driver, young, 19, who works with his dad and one other guy on a gooey duck boat. This was his first season actually diving and extracting the gooey ducks, and while he was down there, someone came up to his boat in a speedboat. The driver of the speedboat paid no attention to Carl's airlines and whatnot going down to his suit. So he was about 50 feet down when the boat engine sucked his lines, pulling Carl from 50 feet to about 8 feet in 2 seconds. He was scared to say the least. Survived, didn't get the bends. Going out to do it again come September. Thanks for watching. Those were 10 scary ocean stories you won't believe are real. Leave a like and comment if you think we missed anything, and we hope you have a scary day.